I'm going to talk about where's COVID and where it came from. The first known COVID case was identified in Wuhan, China in November 2019, and COVID started on 17 November 2019 to now. After that, COVID quickly spread around worldwide, as well as worsening in the COVID-19 pandemic. We are also unknown the virus source at all. And now there are closer to 6.3 billion confirmed cases, and the number of them is still increasing.
As a result of the pandemic, distance and online learning have become a reality, requiring the educational system to adapt. Researchers in the social sciences and humanities are focusing on the numerous ways this adaptation affects students and offering suggestions for enhancing instructional strategies and results in this period of interrupted learning. Universities, colleges, and schools are closed to prevent the coronavirus from spreading. Parents, instructors, and kids all experience challenges when schools are closed. Therefore, distance learning is a way to keep the educational system going on. During e-learning, teachers give students access to articles, pre-recorded films, YouTube links, and other resources. They must improve their ability to manage group projects and online tests using the technology. Anxiety and despair have been concerns for educators as a result of e-learning. During pandemic, when schools and universities were closed, e-learning was one of the ways to continue education. E-learning has both pros and cons. So about the advantages, efficiency is one of its advantages. Teachers can effectively give lessons to students through online learning. They can also use podcasts, PDFs, and videos in their lessons. Affordability. Less expensive tuition is another benefit of online education. Online learning is significantly less expensive than traditional learning. This is so that there are no costs associated with students' transportation, meals, or most significantly, real estate while students learn online. Accessibility of time and place. Another benefit of online education is that students can attend classes from any location of their choosing. Additionally, it frees schools from the limitations imposed by geographic limits and enables them to connect with a broader network of learners. Lack of access to fast internet or electronic devices for studying or attending school can be counted as one of e-learning's disadvantages. Also, internet connectivity is another significant issue for online learning. Although the number of people using the internet has increased dramatically over the past few years, getting a reliable connection in smaller cities and towns can take time and effort. And many parents are worried about the health risks associated with letting their kids spend so much time on electronic devices. One of the most significant concerns and drawback of online learning is the rise in screen time. Students also develop bad posture and other physical problems due to being hunched in front of the screen.
Less engaging than in-person classes. It's easier to get distracted, and there's a lot more opportunity to not do your work.
Considering everything, we are definitely improving. The past few months have seen many parts of the world, including Europe and North America, continuing their journey toward endemic of COVID-19. While the BA.5 subvariant has produced a rise in the number of cases in many places, the burden of severe disease remains low in Europe, and it is only moderately higher in the United States. Schools are reopened, and looking ahead, the outlook for most regions, including Europe and North America, remains relatively favorable for the coming months, with the levels of severe diseases at or below recent levels. Although advances in vaccination and treating COVID-19 led the news less frequently than they did a year ago, important developments continue to emerge. Public health authorities around the world are considering short and medium-term strategies for the timing and rollout of the booster shots. Many are already recommending fourth doses for those at highest risk of severe diseases.
At the present, we're still in one of the surges of the pandemic, hopefully one of the, if not the last major surge. So we're not quite in this new normal phase yet, but we're getting much closer. As we move into this new normal, what that really will mean is that this becomes an endemic virus like the flu that just circulates around, worse in certain times of the year and places, and requires some of the same measures that we require for the flu, like having a regular revaccination.
For more than 2 years, COVID has impacted every decision in our lives and the life of this nation. And I know you're tired, frustrated, and exhausted. That doesn't even count the close to 1 million people who sit at a dining room table or a kitchen table and look at an empty chair because they lost somebody. But I also know this, because of the progress we've made, because of your resilience and the tools that we have been provided by this Congress, tonight I can say we're moving forward safely back to more normal routines. We've reached a new moment in the fight against COVID-19, where severe cases are down to a level not seen since July of last year.
We are in an unprecedented global pandemic that really sucks. It's tough going through this second wave. It's frustrating having shut down all of us, our lives through the spring, and now be forced to make more difficult choices and knowing that it's going to be a tough winter ahead as well. But I know Canadians can get through this together. And yes, we've seen rises in cases here and there. We've also seen flattening of the curve in other places. We know we can do this. We've done it before.
Now that the pandemic is over, everyone's heading back to school, which means that everyone should adapt to the new endemic state, and it needs a lot of encouragement and empowering. Validating, supporting, and listening to students as educators is really important. Students might express their concerns, and even if their emotions are extreme, we should understand them and show empathy. Being honest and encouraging rather than reassuring is also an important criteria. Praising and rewarding students for being courageous, because as students return to school, praising them for showing courage in the face of fear and letting them know that being brave and courageous will help them can encourage them a lot. Providing clear information to the families as early as possible also helps. Anxiety thrives on uncertainty, and the COVID-19 is filled with it. While tolerating our uncertainty would be required for families to some extent, the school administrators and educators can ease the transition by working together to communicate frequently with the families of students.
How's Addison handling COVID? All staff and students need to do a temperature test at the door before they go to the classroom every day. Also, we need to wear a mask. Schools can be seen providing equipment and policy to prevent the virus from spreading the route, such as thermometer and hand sanitizer. Moreover, in the term of policy, it is necessary to do testing before going to school to ensure the health of all teachers and students.